So again, thanks for coming out. I kind of mentioned this at the community pep assembly, but it takes a lot of people to be involved in these young ladies' lives to make them be successful in what they're doing. And I just want to make sure and thank each and every one of you. And I know all the people aren't here, but whoever else has had some type of influence on these girls' lives, because they're obviously very well organized and hardworking to be able to do what they do. And kind of thinking of those things when you, like I said, I had a former player of mine put a post on Facebook, and I thanked a few of us that were his coaches in high school, and now he's coaching himself. And things like that really make you realize what an important part this is to them, and also what a joy it is that you get to be a part of that. And I think that's the biggest thank you is, for us as coaches, letting us be a part of your daughter's lives. And we look forward to seeing what they do as they grow older and really do some big things. Obviously, like the school or administration, the community has been gave us great support through this season. And it's not just this season; it's been that way for a long time. I think if you came to the first home game, it was pretty close to the same size crowd as the last, and I think that shows a lot for the community. And again, these girls here, that they've showed that this is exciting stuff to watch, and people want to come back and watch. I think we've even got from the state tournament game picked up a few more fans. They're like, man, I didn't realize how exciting that is. And they hopefully picked up a few more up, and they're going to come a little more themselves. Even with the parents, bags, the meals, Bambi got the shirts going. And I guess the other part is, we get home from a game, and I know people don't want to come in and drive here and wait 15 minutes for a bus or wait for practice to get over with, but, we didn't have to wait with your daughters at all. People were here, they took them home. I know I got done with practice, and I was waiting here a half hour, 45 minutes waiting for my other child to get done with his practice. So that wasn't a real fun time for me to have to do that. So I like the thought we were trying to make sure we got them out on time, so you knew when to be there, and nobody had to really go around. I think that's something all three of us take pretty serious. We're not gonna sit and leave your daughter here at school, because that's just not right thing to do. I think you got more of them married. They did a nice job of keeping coverage and getting pictures of our teams. Diana did our pictures. I think another person, Ryan Merkin with the Press Citizen, he did a good job of getting us early in the season, late in the season. He's the guy I also had a conversation with about why some of the stuff wasn't getting put in, and he got that straightened out. It was funny because I sent an email earlier in the week, and I think he covered us at Mid-Prairie. And so after he got done asking questions, and I had a conversation with him about what's going on, and he made sure he got to the bottom of it and got those things straightened out. Another one's the fire department for taking the time out of their night to get the trucks and having that for the girls that drive into town after that regional game. And they went ahead and did it again Thursday night. And that was something we ate afterwards, so they were kind of waiting to see when we were going to be done. And they still did that. It was a little more somber voyage in, but at the same time, it was I think it was a great gesture of what these girls have done and accomplished. I think we really appreciate that from them. And another one would be, I think Phil has done a great job with, we don't have to do anything with that. he takes care of the girls, and I really believe that that Wednesday night match that we had, that other team was physically and mentally worn. By the time that fourth set came around, they didn't have much left to do, and it's because of those types of things that happened. And I think then turn around to Thursday night, if we could have finished off that fourth set, I think we'd have been in control of the fifth, because that was the same thing going on there. I guess, but when you have, about 3 kids that are 6'2", they don't have to work quite as hard to be up like that other group did, so they weren't quite working as hard as that other group, but he does a great job of doing that. I think he does more than just the lifting. He does a great mental side of it, the nutrition side, and touches on every part of it. And then Claire and John obviously do a great deal for all these girls, and again, great things don't happen without those type of people around. And, they, will do a lot more legwork since I'm not in the building, and I trust these two more than anybody else to help do that stuff. There's some other people that probably should be doing the work, but I can't trust if that's going to be done, so I hand it to these two, and they get it done. Matt's here. He gets to live along the dream of not having his wife at home. McKenna's here. She's got to not have her dad, Barrett. Doesn't have to have his dad around all the time. So, to their families, I thank you for giving us their time so that they can help these young ladies out. And then obviously my wife and kids, they put up a lot so that I get to be a part of this. And, the frustrating side of it, I didn't get to watch a full game of either one of my boys' football this year. And that's, but that, again, a sacrifice that people make to be able to do this and be a part of it. So I thank all of you for that. So there's our thank yous. And I know that the side that I'm going to mostly talk about is going to be our varsity side, but I've really enjoyed watching the fresh sophomore JV groups play. They compete, they do things the right way, and it's nice to be able to sit back and just enjoy watching them play, because they've made huge strides this season. Some of the sophomores and juniors have made huge strides from their freshmen. It's been a great fall, everyone involved, and I thank you for that. So with that, I'll let John, Mr. Walsh. I got our hands for him.
All right, we'll say, watch out, David. Turn around. Let everybody see.
Come on.
So let me give the girls their individual certificates first. Talk a little bit about them. We'll say a little bit about the team. First, we have one of our freshmen on the team this year, Autumn Copeland. And Autumn, I really appreciated that she played in the matches. She played middle hitter a lot, but then also just depending on practice and 6-on-6 and what we were running, she'd jump in as an outside hitter. Also, I think we even had her swing right side a couple times. So I really appreciate that versatility, and not only that, but I don't think I've ever seen her not be in a good mood. I mean, she's just every day come in the gym and smile on her face and ready to go. What are we doing today? And it's just brings a great energy to the gym. So I appreciate that. Next we have another freshman, Lauren Naylor. And Lauren was a center for us, and she also played some defense. But and did a nice job of both. What I really appreciate about her also is we'd be running some drills during practice, and she would jump in the outside hitting line also. And even though she didn't play there during the matches, that just shows a desire to want to get better at all those skills. And I think that is a huge benefit to a program when you have players that are developing all of their skills. I mean, we have these, it seems like we have these specialized positions, setter, outside hitter, defensive specialist. But actually, all the players are doing all of the actions throughout a match. Okay, it's a chaotic process, and even the back row defenders are taking swings sometimes, and even the hitters are setting sometimes. Even the setters have to hit sometimes. And so, just that willingness and that desire to develop all those skills, I really appreciate about it. For our sophomores. Primarily played defense for us this year, and did a really nice job. And it was great to see her progress throughout the season get better out there on the court. And what I also love about Allison is when we're running drills, and Coach Keeney and Coach Kowski, and if I ask any coach, probably attest to emphasizing communication on the court. Okay, volleyball is a sport where you have to communicate if you want to be successful. And Allison is one of our absolute best communicators. And whatever drill you're running, you can hear her, and she's encouraging her teammates and really emphasizing that communication piece and being encouraging to the team. So appreciate it. Katie Robertson. Katie is the defensive specialist for us, and it was great also to see her develop through the season and get more confident and more consistent in her play. And what I really like about Katie also is she is always striving to get better, and what can I do to improve what I'm doing. And she, even the open gyms over the summer, she's at those regularly, and just has that drive to become a better player. And when you have a program full of players like that, it makes a difference. So I really appreciate that. Maggie Lawson. Maggie did a fantastic job in all aspects of the game. She was one of our best passers, and I think every one of our serve-receive rotations, we had her back there passing because she's such a good passer, but also a consistent hitter. And what I love about Maggie is she is just, from what I saw, just calm, cool, and collected. I mean, we get some, doesn't get rattled if we, things start going south, or and that's another benefit to have on the court. Just that calming presence is, not going to get too rattled no matter what's happening. So. Okay, next up, McKenna Walsh. McKenna was an outside hitter for us this year, and I really enjoyed seeing the improvement in McKenna's play from the last year or two. Did some good things, but was kind of inconsistent, and just seeing her develop her ability and the confidence to get out there when she's up in the front row. So that was really encouraging to see. And then another thing I enjoyed about McKenna on the team, and I think coaches can also agree, that having a successful and enjoyable experience as a team is that much better when you have great parents. And her parents are nice, supportive, and so I really appreciate it. Finally, but certainly not least, of the players that are here today, Hannah Westcott. Hannah really impressed me with her presence on the court and understanding the game. And she did a great job of knowing what to do with the ball. Whether it was, she was a right side hitter, but a lot of times right side hitter, if the setter digs the first ball, the right side hitter's got to set the ball, setting, or just if it was a broken play and we got to get it over to the other side. She did a great job. We were always, or I was always trying to stress with the team when we're taking swings, especially when the play's broken and you're swinging from further off the net, 10 or 12 feet back, is driving the ball deep. And Hannah's one of the best on the team at doing that and remembering to do that and driving that ball, because it makes it that much tougher for the team to pass the ball and work their offense if you're driving it deep into the court and not just popping it over the net and putting it right in their wheelhouse. So she did a great job of that, but just broken plays. If she got the second ball, she'd get it up high so we could take a swing at it, and just did a great job with that, just that knowledge of the game and court presence. And then also I'll say about Hannah is she's another player that I don't think I've ever seen her in a bad mood, and she's just always got a smile on her face and ready to go, and every day in practice, and whether it's practice or a match. So I appreciate that about her also. As far as the team's success this year, we didn't win every conference match, but we competed in every match. And I know there's one I remember in particular last season, one or two where the other team was we were pretty much outmatched. The other team was clearly in more control of the match than we were, and I didn't see that this year with this team. And we were competing. Everything didn't go perfectly. We had some stretches where we didn't play as good as we can play, but we were always in there competing. And I'll kind of bookend that on either end of the season. Is we had a few tournaments of just freshman tournaments, and the very first one of the season we played at Bettendorf High School, and all the other schools were 4A and 5A schools. And we won our pool, and we lost a tough match in the semifinal. But when our freshmen are competing against 4A and 5A freshmen who are on that team because they went to a tryout with 70 girls and are part of that team, I think that says a lot. And then go to the end of the season. We had a sophomore tournament at the end of our season, and we played Minneapolis, and we had some mixed results that day. There was a match that on paper or whatever you want to call it, whatever that means, a team that you think we should have beaten, and we lost them. We didn't play well. And then we came back after that against another team that was one of the better teams at the tournament, and we went 3 sets with them, and we beat them in the third set, 17-15 or 18-16, something like that. And so, watch them bounce back, and after having a bad match and a long way from home and a long day, and having to bounce back and play like that, think of that. It reminds me of this match we just had with Western Christian at the state tournament, where we lost that second set badly, and we came right back in the third and owned it and put it right back at them. And so it's encouraging to see that resiliency, and especially at the younger age levels, freshman, sophomore, and developing that at that age is only going to make them more successful as they go on to JV and varsity. So it has been a privilege to coach for West Branch High School, and specifically with this team. So I just want to thank all the players and the parents for making it a great year.
I'm not as eloquent. I had to type out. So first, I just have to say congratulations to the Fresh Sop and the varsity. You guys had amazing seasons, and every single person from the top to the bottom, you contributed to the success. No matter what you did, no matter what your role was, and I'm so proud of you, and you should be very proud of yourself. And I'm not going to be able to look at you, just so you know, when I actually start talking about as far as the JV team goes, we had an incredibly successful season. It took me a while to do the math for this, but we were 13-4. It took me way too long to figure that out. And we were 7-1 in conference play. But even without this record, we didn't need proof that we were successful. Every single day we showed up for practice, ready to give it our all. And then we really faced adversity, especially when we got ourselves in situations where we were down by like 10 or 12, and then we would win. And so that just proves how successful they were. You guys always reminded me just how fun volleyball is, and you made every day totally worth it. So now, instead of calling you up individually, I'll go Coach Walsh. You may all stand up here in shame the whole time I talk. Alright, I'll start with my 3 freshmen, which that works really well. For Courtney played libero. Courtney played libero for us this year, and it was so awesome to see her grow as a passer. Our very first tournament of the year, we played at Williamsburg, and there was a libero on the other team who looked kind of like Will Martin. and she was really, really good, so all season I'd be like, hey, Courtney, you gotta channel Will Martin libero. And she'd be like, yeah, totally. And not only did she channel Will Martin libero, but I think she surpassed her, which sounds weird. And I think that somewhere in the RBC, there's a coach telling their player, you have to channel the West Branch libero. And so I'm really proud of you, Court. I'm excited to see what you do in your next few seasons. Riley really stepped up this year. She was one of our setters in our 6-2 offense. And I remember watching her this summer in our open gyms and just thinking, I have to have her on my team. She's so good and talented. She's really strong. She sees the court really well. And I really, really can't wait to see what she does in her next few years here as well. So, and then my last freshman is Abby Freehoff. Even though her name's not Abigail, I call her Abigail a lot. But she was a no-brainer for middle. I mean, she's tall, she has long arms, she's really quick, but more than that, she's really smart. She makes incredibly good decisions, and even though she claims to never get hurt, ever, when we had team dinner, she decided to slide down my stairs a couple times just to prove it, but I hope that stays true. Even when you joined varsity in the postseason too, it was really awesome to see how fast your game sped up to meet the level of just our older players, and you're going to be awesome. So, for our 3 freshmen, if you guys want to give them a round of applause. All right, Sophie DePoulos is my lone sophomore, and I have to say she came through in a huge way. She was a setter. She's been a setter for most of her volleyball career. And I really asked her to change that this year. She's an outside hitter. She played all the way around. And even more than her spectacular ability on the court, Sophie is one of those people who is always positive. I know Coach Walsh said that about some of his freshman players, but I have never seen her down, and she was always the first person to say, oh, let's do one more drill. Just one more drill, even when everybody else was like, oh my God, let's go home. Sophie was the one who was really pushing and always had a smile on her face, and I really appreciate it. So Sophie's my sophomore. And then even though Leah's not here, Leah Sillick was incredibly resilient. And if you guys ever have an opportunity to watch her play, just watch her face. She is the most expressive player I've ever met, and she just has this look of pure joy. And it was so humbling to watch her play because it really reminded me why I do this and why I spend so much time with you guys, because you love it so much. And I just thought that was so cool. So you guys can tell her I said that, and she'll be really great. So that was Leah. Haley is one of my other juniors, and she is another person who came to practice every single day ready to work her hardest. She was super positive the whole entire season and was an absolutely integral part of our team. We only had 11, so it meant I had to play sometimes, which got progressively worse throughout the season, which I later found out why. I'm blaming it on that. But without Haley, we couldn't have done what we did and had the success we had. So thank you. Sydney Lamont, aka Squid. She's another player who filled multiple roles for us. She was originally an outside hitter and then changed to right side hitter, but continued to play all the way around. And I have to say, she's one of the best serve receive players I've ever seen. No matter where we were in the game, whether we were up or down, if Sydney was in the back row, I was confident we were going to get the ball back and we were going to continue to be successful. And I just have to say that I'm still working on getting that cat sit. So talk to him. So thanks, Sid. Appreciate it. Claire is another one of my new players. She is not here today, but I have to say that she has a love for this game that really inspired me. And even though she says she's not an emotional person, if you watch her play, she is so passionate about the game that there's no way that she can say that about herself. Like Sid, her passing was incredible, and I've never seen somebody, and you guys could come back up on this, she has the most technical passing that I've ever seen, and she's just really successful with it. So it was great to have Claire part of the team. And then Amanda, I said something about Amanda, so you guys have to make her feel bad for it coming, but Amanda was our manager. We called her a manager, or we called her mom. And I seriously could not have done this without her. She came to practices, she shagged. She kept score, she encouraged them and kept them on their toes. During the game, she took stats, or she called them out on stuff. And if Amanda said, you need to move your feet, oh my goodness, they were gonna move their feet. So she tried to steal stuff from places too, like in North Cedar, she wanted that ball so bad, and then the state tournament, she's like, we need a cart like this, maybe I'll just take it. And you can't walk off the state tournament with a cart. But I could not have asked for a better support system in Amanda. She was more like an assistant coach than she was a manager, and I really appreciated her. And now this is the part that is the hardest, because of you two. Oh, Kaylee! Oh, Kaylee, right here. This is why I had to write it down, guys. So this year for Kaylee went from the giggliest person ever last year to hands down the most focused. Kaylee was asked to do so many different things, and not only would she do it, but she'd do it with a big smile on her face, and she had fire in her eyes. Like, I was scared to play against her, but she went from right side to the dreaded middle position, and she got some big blocks for us when we needed it the most. And I think more than that, though, watching Kaylee transform over the past 3 years has just been incredible. She is such a strong person, and just being her teacher and her coach has just been awesome. And she got to come to the state tournament with us as a photographer, and it was just fun to share that experience with her. So thanks, Kaylee. So all right. Sam and Krenda, so I've been able to coach them for 3 years now, and I know they had a really, really tough, I can't wait. So, at work, maybe look at Janae, she's creepily staring at me. So they had a really tough decision to make at the beginning of the year, and I am so thankful they chose to put up with me for another year. I could not have done this without them, and we definitely would not have had the success we had without them. Sam worked so hard. She was asked to do so many different things, and she's an amazing all-around player, and she ended up hitting right side for us, which is different because I know last year she played a lot of defense, but she stepped up in a big way. And even though there were some times when it'd be like, Sam, do you know where you're going? And she'd like, oh yeah, I know where I'm going. She would always get there and she'd get the ball, and I knew I could rely on Sam to be successful and do what she needed to do for the team. And then with Krinda's been my center for 3 years, which is a lot. She's put up with a lot for me. Maybe vice versa. But we've been through a lot of ups and downs together, and I could always rely on her. Even when she was a sophomore, she was the most vocal, and she was a leader, and she really stepped that up in a big way this year too. We could not have been as successful without these two. And I'm so excited to see what you finish the rest of the school year doing, and I'm excited to see what you do after school, and you cannot forget about me. You have to visit me. So this is the JD team. Oh, and Coach Lepeski has your certificates. But as a lot of you guys know, this is actually going to be my last season coaching. And so next year, I'm really excited. Matt and I are going to be in the stands. We're going to have noise-canceling headphones, a little West Branch shirt on our baby, and we're going to be cheering you on. And we're going to take our baby to Cedar Rapids to watch you guys. So, you know, you have all changed me more than you will ever know. And that if we're blessed enough to have a girl, we'd be lucky if she ended up like any of you. And if it's a boy, well, they're lucky if they can take one of you, so.
Better keep the pattern going.